On a foggy, cold morning, a wanderer packed his bag to continue his journey from his forest camp. The silence was broken by the sound of hooves. He raised his head, and the rays of the rising sun broke through the mist to reveal a graceful creature, reminiscent of a horse. The moment was gone. Moving on in the gloomy green fog, he didn't know if it was a dream or reality, but he could have sworn that the creature had a horn on its head. A new legend was born that day, the legend of the unicorn. The last few weeks have been spent mainly with background work and with starting to implement the many ideas I talked about in my previous videos. As I already mentioned, I will always have a lot of inspiration in autumn, and I didn't even know which one to focus on all of a sudden. You can feel how frigidity grows in our world. Winter and cold cloud the ice flowers quietly into our shadowless nights. My plans emerge like a bright flame in the dark. They give me purpose and strength. With purpose and strength, my mind became clearer and more collected, whereas the darkness demanded more and more of the day. So my thoughts also demanded imagination, which takes me back to the past. In the past, in that time, the harvest enriched the pantry. The animals huddled together in the shed. And in the harsh times, only stories, tales and legends broke the ice between people. Dark nights somehow opened the box of creativity, as if standing on the edge of the world, the thousands of little starlights are all of a possibility in front of us, waiting for someone to make it a reality. Using this opportunity, I started to paint a series of paintings, the drawing of which I presented in my previous video. Sometimes, when I start a new work, I find it hard to focus on it and get lost in the details. It's an unpleasant feeling until I can imagine in my head what kind of end result I want to achieve. But once a smart person said, "Imagine that the task you have to solve is a big rock. When you just start pushing the rock, that's the hardest part. But once it's started, it only needs a little help and it will start rolling on its own. You only have to give the first push, which is the hardest. But if you don't try hard, you may never be able to move forward because the rock stands in your way." So when I feel the rock, I know I'm doing something right and the end result will exceed my exceptions. Hello! We are here at the Homolot Springs and we are filling our bottles with this natural mineral water because this is the best water in the world. This water what we are drinking today is at least 700 years old. So this means that this water was around when medieval times happened as rainwater. This water contains a lot of iron, as you can see. This is iron. One day I will make orange or red pigment out of this substance. For centuries this water was used for medicinal purposes, and as bathwater it's good for your heart and heart-related illnesses.
It tastes like iron.
I eat and drink iron for lunch, breakfast, and everything.
You're the Iron Maiden.
Another thing I wanted to put more time and concentration into this year is to paint smaller student paintings where I can practice the use of color and medieval fresco representation. I painted a unicorn, a living purity hiding deep in the woods. Forgotten writers told in forgotten stories. Those who can ever glimpse it can never forget its beautiful radiance, because they are truly privileged to whom it shows itself. It is also said by those who didn't see the truth, that all this was just made up, and the horn of a water creature, more precisely the tooth of a narwhal, was sold as a unicorn horn. But the ancient truth is different in everyone's mind, and the world is as big as we see it through our own little world. Now fever and fever secrets remain unanswered, but maybe the secrets have just learned to hide more skillfully and are still invisible to our eyes. I am fond of old legends and stories. I like to think that I recreate them through my paintings, so that they not disappear in the deep sea of oblivion. So wanderers, that's how my last few weeks have been. Thank you for the many kind comments you wrote on my previous videos. Seeing that many people like what I create is a real happiness for me. Thank you for watching this video and see you soon in the next one. Goodbye wanderers.